Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your co-host, Ryan Fay, with my other co-host, Kyle Johnson.
What's poppin'?
And my host, James Laney.
What's up, guys? Oh, well, let's just get into the swing of things here. Antonio Brown just running off the field, doing his thing. You know, he does it every other year. What side are you guys on? Are you on the side of that they weren't putting him in because they didn't want to pay him through his incentives, or that Bruce Arians told him to go in twice and then he didn't, and they said, hey, go home, and then he did just that?
Well, apparently Tampa Bay has a history of shorting players on their incentives.
I didn't know that.
They did this to Victor Cruz.
Oh, I didn't know Victor Cruz was on the team when they did that to him.
How close was he?
First of all, how else are they going to short him if he's not on the team?
I thought he was with the Giants.
What was
No, he actually, didn't he go down? No, he played in Tampa for a little bit, didn't he?
I genuinely don't recall.
Hold on.
I think he might have. But
What side are you
Victor
on?
Cruz play for Tampa Bay?
I don't know who to trust. Because Bruce Arians also, first of all, Bruce Arians never wanted Antonio Brown here in the first place.
That's true.
So if you could slide him on the way out after Antonio Brown embarrassed him doing that, then he probably would do it. I wouldn't put it past him.
I just have seen this too much from Antonio Brown and all the mistakes he's made in the past. He's left 4 teams now ugly, in an ugly way.
Very ugly.
I can't trust a guy that I've seen a pattern. One time, if this was his first time, I'd be like, oh, maybe they're really just screwing this guy, but this isn't his second, this isn't his third, this is his 4th time leaving a team.
Yeah.
I just don't.
And the way he did
him.
it too, like I don't think anybody's ever seen the dude, like they were about to run a play and he's literally in the end zone, like hyping up the crowd, like
the announcers were asking they have like a retired ref there. They're like, is that a flag? And he goes, just get him off the field. Like, he didn't interfere with the play, he didn't touch the football, he wasn't, just get him out of there. So he's like, no. I was rewatching like what happened through the broadcast, like somebody threw it on YouTube, and the top comment was, this is the first time that the crazy fan running on the field was a player and not a fan. And I was like, that's hysterical. Well, did you hear that the
security thought he was a fan?
Yeah, at first security was going to go tackle him because they're like, oh, there's a fan. They're like, but they didn't. We can't tackle Antonio Brown.
Security,
even if they wanted to.
Security didn't. I was about to say they wanted to tackle him, and then they're like, look at that fucking 6-pack. Oh my god,
dude! Say what you want about AB, but the man knows how to make headlines.
Yeah. Well, there's
without a doubt.
There was a video of him in the Uber. Afterwards, and I don't know how true this was, but it sounded like he was on the phone with somebody, probably his mother. Is what it sounded like. Again, I don't know.
He's really close with his grandmother.
So that might have been who it was, but it sounded like he was going, this is going to make my son's something blow up, like whatever it is. Probably TikTok. When I'm just assuming. Again, I have no idea. That's just what it sounded like in the video that the Uber driver took of him, because he's just like, am I really picking up AB right now? Like, and actually, I heard he asked the security guard for a ride to the airport.
Well, because he couldn't get an Uber on his own, so a police officer helped him.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
So what side do you believe? Bruce Arians or Antonio Brown?
I don't know. I know Bruce never wanted him there. I heard rumors that Brady was mad at Bruce now, but then again, it's like,
you can't keep a guy like that on your team.
No. And, well, I can't. It's rumors, too. Like, I don't know. Like, more is going to come out today and tomorrow. We're going to probably know exactly what happened within a couple of hours, but that was wild. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
It is so insane, but I just can't trust a guy with that track record. I don't think he ever plays in the NFL again. If Tom Brady can't keep you in this league, nobody can.
Dude, he is just one of the most interesting characters I've ever seen in my life.
He's
like
the NFL.
Well, I genuinely think.
Did you see his Instagram story?
Didn't he post like nothing happened?
Oh, he posted him. He's wearing like his like something more expensive than anything I ever owned in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. He's just posting.
And on his thing, he says, "I knew the game was still going. I left because I'm super gremlin."
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that is.
I read that and I was like,
what does that mean?
You're asking the
Antonio?
wrong guy.
I don't.
What the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
I mean, I got something from Bleacher Report here if you guys want me to read it.
Read it right away.
All right. Antonio Brown reportedly felt he was too injured to return Sunday's game against the New York Jets, leading to the bizarre end to his tenure with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network reported Brown, who was limited in practice and missed several weeks with an ankle injury, argued Bruce Arians and the Bucs offensive staff over his health and refused to re-enter the game. What he told What he told the staff, from what I understand, is that he is not going to the game because in his mind he does not feel he was healthy, Rappaport said. The response then from the offensive coaches and from Bruce Arians was, if you're not going to go into the game when we tell you to go into the game, then you cannot be here. At that point, they threw him off the sidelines and then cut him from the team.
I just still wouldn't want him on my team. He's such a headache. He's
I
the
don't
NFL
know.
versions of Kyrie.
Did you see that fucking route he ran against Hall that literally put him on his ass?
Yeah.
I mean, that ankle looked, unless he tweaked it, like I'd have to go back and rewatch, like maybe there's a point he tweaked it.
He looked healthy to me.
He looked good. He jogged off that field pretty healthy. Like, I don't know.
It's just that he has a history of doing things like this. He's just not... Once again, if this was a first offense, I'd be like, okay, he'll be back on another team, whatever. Like, everybody makes mistakes. You get a second opportunity. I'm all
We've
about
gone
that.
through. We've gone through all his chances.
He's gotten more than
I
20.
genuinely think he's a dude, and I don't know how. I'm sure a lot of people have the same theory. This dude had no incidences in college. He had, for the first 7 years of his career, he was nothing but a role model in the league.
Yeah.
Like, he genuinely, the dude did nothing wrong. Like, just a great person to have on the team. And then that hit from Vontaze Burfict.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
He was out like a light, dude. If you haven't seen it, go do yourself a favor. Go look it up. It's gruesome, dude. Like, it was a dirty hit, you know.
From one of the worst
from one of the worst players
Yeah.
ever, from one of the dirtiest players to ever play the game. And he was out for what, 2-3 minutes? Like, just unconscious
He was
on the
knocked
ground.
out for a while.
Yeah,
I remember that.
There's a good chance this dude legitimately has CTE. Think
I
about it.
mean,
He's been
all
taking...
all NFL players do, but to
Yeah.
what extent?
But
it's huge. I agree with you.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do, even off the field, just not good thing, not smart decisions. As far as captivating and understanding, dude, this dude sells social media, this, that, and the other thing. It makes sense, I guess. But as far as the NFL, he's done. There's no
He
way.
is done.
And I genuinely think it's because of CTE.
The guy needs help. He clearly needs help. I don't think he's mentally stable. I don't know what it is.
No way.
I am not wishing the worst on this guy. I hope he does get help because it's blatantly obvious to me. And I mean,
I just
I
hope
feel
this
like
doesn't turn into another Tampa, a Vincent Jackson thing.
Yeah.
That's just a damn shame. That dude needed help. Nobody noticed.
or Chargers play with the Patriots when you're junior. So
Yeah.
thank you. Wow, brain fart. If it is one of those situations, I do hope he gets help because you don't want things like that to happen.
No, but
Even though he's done a lot of dumb things, it's
at this point, it's bro, what are you You're a grown man. You gotta know. You gotta know that's not I get you're arguing, but
he's a father.
yeah, that's the example you want to set for your kids. Just walk away when things get difficult.
Well, that was also the big debate.
Force
too.
your way out of teams because you don't like what's going on. Dude, him and Derek Carr could have been a menace.
Well, this is the big debate too they've had because before Antonio Brown, it's he has all these off-field problems, but when it comes to game day, he's there for his team, he's there to play, and now he's just walking out. He's not even doing that.
Bro, he got himself cut because he froze his feet. That's not... What the fuck are you doing?
I don't think he's okay.
No. I don't know. That was wild.
I do know. You can look at
you want your vaccination card back?
I'm good. No.
You just absolutely dome me in the head. Give me that. Take it home with you. But yeah, Antonio Brown, he'll be lucky if he gets to play in the XFL. That's next year. Yeah, keep that. But on to our second topic of the day. Golden State Warriors have been on a tear without two of their starters. Without two of their starters.
All year.
They're back.
They're
back and they're not even 100%.
They have the number one defense in the league and a top 5 offense.
And the MVP.
And the MVP. And
who's playing unanimous Steph Curry.
Yeah. This team, I think the biggest praise, there's two real factors to why Golden State is playing out of their mind. Steph Curry is arguably a top 10 player all time. He might finish top 5.
If someone like that changes the entire landscape of a game has to be in your top 10.
We were watching a video this morning.
And has accolades to match it.
Yeah.
We were watching a video this morning, and it stuck out to me, the way the guy worded it. The gravity that Steph Curry brings just in any offensive possession is so important for the rest of the team. Because it's dude, he does anything. You have 2 or 3 guys that have to go double team this dude, triple team this dude even, just to get him to miss a 3 from the fucking logo.
Yeah.
And it's now it leaves one-on-one matchups, and they're not even there. And those matchups are getting beat by like Gary Payton. Where did this guy come from? Gary Payton,
G League.
You know what I mean? Like this dude is just absolutely balling right now. Super athlete. Draymond Green is probably the best defender in the NBA right now. His playmaking ability, like the way to run everything, like off ball or even just holding the ball while Steph Curry runs around like a menace, is unreal. Andrew Wiggins, rather than looking at him as a bust, they looked at him as a possible, all defensive player, an all-star this year right now. Like they've gotten the most out of him.
He's showing his number 1 overall pick status.
Well, it's less. They basically, I don't know how I want to put this. They basically looked at Andrew Wiggins not for what he was expected to do, but for what he is, kind of. So like he was expected to be this captivating generational talent, and it turns out he's not, which it is what it is. It happens. A lot of players aren't. But there was so much expectations that he was almost underrated, because it's like, dude, he's still a decent scorer. He's clearly a phenomenal defender. He's one of the best wing defenders in the league, at least this season. And he's shooting, I think, 40% from 3 right now, which he's never done in his career.
Something like that.
So, like, Golden State has clearly got the most out of this dude, and I think it started with defense, and that front office deserves all the praise in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that they can keep the band together, like, I don't know how they keep doing it. Dude, they have Kuminga in the G League right now.
Yeah, I totally forgot they had that guy.
Like, they're doing it without 2 starters.
They're already
Otto Porter looks like a madman right now.
They're already like 8-9 deep, and they don't even have Klay or James Wiseman on the team yet.
It's unbelievable. When Klay comes back,
not that we totally know what James Wiseman is yet, but the fact you can just bring in this young talent who could be something's amazing. Plus, you're bringing in Klay Thompson, a top 3 shooter of all time.
When Klay, I'm honestly more concerned or more impressed with, like, the fact that when they get his defense back, like in that starting lineup, like really healthy Klay Thompson defense.
Yeah, it's going to take him a minute or two.
Oh my! You have Jordan Poole, who's probably going to be one of the best 6-man in the league now, because he's been starting this whole season. It's just another spark off the bench,
dude. And they don't even need to like throw Klay back in.
No,
they can just be like, here's a few minutes here, here's a few minutes.
That's
there.
the thing. He could play right now. The reason they've been holding him out is because, like, 1, we don't need to, and 2, it's like you can just get your endurance.
Imagine
back.
going, no, we don't actually need our starter right
Klay.
now.
We don't
Klay
need
fucking Thompson.
Can you imagine?
We don't need one of the best shooters.
The luxury.
They just destroyed the Suns. I like,
and they're the number 2 team.
They're the second best team in the league. They are disgusting. It starts with Steph Curry, though.
Be a Golden State fan. Oh my god.
At this point,
you knew the dynasty was coming back because you knew that 2 years.
But did you though?
I didn't think it was going to come back this strong.
Nobody
but the
liked
thing was,
that Wiggins trade.
I didn't think it was going to come back this strong. But the fact is, when you go 2 years without Klay Thompson, it's like, okay, if you have Steph, Klay, and Draymond, it's like you still have a great team. You're a contender. But that 2 year gap of like, yeah, you're not the Golden State Warriors, but now you're back without Klay, which no one expected. No one expected the Wiggins trade to work out.
Work out, but just work out the way it did. Because everybody looked at Andrew Wiggins as like a draft bust who had all this potential, was lazy, didn't do like specific things, and then Steve Kerr, I forget what he said, but it was a great way to like. I think it was, this dude is so overrated, or his expectations were so high that at this point this dude is literally underrated. They basically get the most out of like what their needs are. And that's another thing that this front office does. They were so criticized for that Jordan Poole pick a couple of years ago, because he was picked, I think, 28th, and they're like, this guy isn't even like a top 50 prospect right now. Like, I don't know why he went.
Look, dude, he played well in the tourney.
But it's a need. So they look at what they need for their team. They're very like skill specific. They understood they needed a wing defender. They didn't need D'Angelo Russell because they already had a primary ball handler. So it's like, let's go out and get Andrew Wiggins, a guy who we can focus on defense. We don't need this guy to score. I mean, you still do, but you don't need this guy to like.
You don't need to rely on him game in and game out.
Would you consider Wiggins like a Rondo type, where like the lights come on national television and then the guy shows up?
I don't think so.
Not to that extent.
And the only reason I say it is because he never did it with Minnesota. And I understand, like, I say this about football too. Incompetent franchises doing competent things. Minnesota has they haven't done anything ever at all. I mean, they had a decent stretch with Kevin Garnett, but that's Kevin Garnett. That's it. That's Kevin Garnett. You know what I mean? That's a
I know what you're
10
saying,
power forward
like,
all time.
Because that's been my gripe with him. I feel like he only shows up when like the moment's kind of big.
Well, I think he did with Minnesota. So Minnesota tried to make him like a primary ball handler. They tried to like. He's not a guy who's going to beat a lot of one-on-one matchups or like do anything like.
You're looking him at as like a third or fourth option though on your team.
Like he was the number one in Minnesota for a little while, and they really tried. They did not use him to his full potential at all. Like right now, Wiggins is shooting like open threes. He's primarily around for defense. He finishes at the rim sometimes. Like he's a good finisher at the rim, but
in Minnesota, they were forcing him to be the guy and take shots.
They were making him a shot creator and a facilitator, and that's not what he does.
He needs help getting open.
Yeah, he's a guy who you don't need. He doesn't need to touch the ball every possession in order to be effective. Like Steph Curry's a guy who he needs the ball in his hand. He's gonna things are gonna happen.
Gonna do something with it.
Exactly.
Steph can get open by himself.
Like Wiggins, like think about this too. Like especially Golden State, they're very good at getting the most out of those players outside of like Steph Curry. Klay Thompson put up 60 on 11 dribbles. Like think about how absurd that stat is.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. This dude is just shooting open J's all game long. Like that's what Andrew Wiggins is doing. That's what Klay's going to do when he comes back. Like this team is so disgusting. And they don't even have two of their starters.
They're back.
We haven't even talked James Wiseman.
I was going to say, in James Wiseman, he's a big man that shoots three. He's a modern day big man.
And
he's literally a modern day big man that if he can live up to his full potential, this team is so young. And I know like Steph Curry's getting older and Klay's getting older, but the way guys are playing nowadays, they're playing till they're older. There's better ways so they can keep lasting longer in these leagues. The team's just going to stay so young.
Yeah.
And they're going to be good for a long time if they can keep it all together. It's terrifying. It's literally terrifying.
Klay comes back, they might be unstoppable.
What was the episode where like we talked about them before, where I said I want to give like the front end
It was a
few weeks ago, but we're talking about the front office.
No, I know, but like this is
they're still doing it.
It's happening. This isn't a 10-game stretch where they're going off. It's just the season. This is what they are, and they're only going to get better.
Dude, it's been this way since like 2014.
Well, and that office is so smart too, because remember that?
Yeah, outside of KD, it's like been their people.
Right.
Yeah, and remember when
but they still go get KD.
2019 when Steph was hurt, he played like 5 games and Klay was out, and they won like 20 some odd games. That was another thing too, where they're like, okay, look, we don't have. Rather than try to make this work right now, we're gonna see what we can keep. We're gonna shoot for a top 5 pick, which they got, and then like try to keep the band together. Like wait for Steph to get healthy, wait for Klay to get healthy. They were basically like Golden State fans. Give us this year. Nobody's healthy right now. But they were so smart about it because they're like, okay, who do we need? That's the draft. They ended up getting Jordan Poole, I think.
I also think it's smart because there's no reason to hit the panic button in that aspect.
No.
Because you're looking at it, it's like, well, we have our guys. They're just hurt. So we know there's no need to make big trades to try to save the year. There's no saving the year. Your starters are out. We're going to have to wait. That's it. You kind of had to look at it as it is. So look at what you do have. And then, like exactly you said, what do we need to bring in? Figure out what you need.
Dude, yeah, transparency is huge with like front offices and the fan base.
Yeah.
If you're just like, listen, this is just, don't expect jack this year.
And I don't think the fans were looking for that because it's pretty obvious. When you take out your 2 top players, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be good.
Yeah, but like there'd be some franchises like the Celtics would absolutely do this. It'd be like, oh, get excited for the no. Golden State would be like, listen, we know you're not here anymore because like no one's here.
Yeah.
But we're not going to try to force JaVale McGee down your throat. Like it's
help us.
Like no.
JaVale, please.
But like they were just like, this isn't the year. Just understand it's not the year.
But it was genius. It was what they needed to do.
Yes, because the Celtics would absolutely do that.
And you
ready for Romeo Langford? No, stop. I'm not. Just don't.
When we went to the game, this kid kept trying to hype up Romeo Langford.
And then he kept tossing up bricks.
I was like,
building houses for the homeless.
Yeah, he's just
no. Well, I kept wanting to see him do something. He's a guy who like I just want to see.
I didn't know how many times I needed to tell you, Kyle, he's awful at the game.
Yeah. Well, he's what, a 3-year vet at this point?
Dude,
we drafted him at 18, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's just young.
Yeah,
maybe
I love that draft because we needed forwards who could shoot, and he was a forward that couldn't shoot coming out of college, so that was fun. That was a fun pick for me to watch.
See, that's where Golden State capitalizes. They actually draft the correct players.
Bro, and Jordan Poole is probably the best example of it so far. Like,
I loved Jordan Poole. When
nobody liked him coming out of.
That's weird. I liked watching him play.
Oh,
he was fun.
I thought he was pretty good, but the thing, he wasn't even like a top.
Like the pick or like the player.
He was drafted at 28, and he wasn't even a top 50 prospect.
So they thought it was too early.
They thought he shouldn't even be drafted. Like this was like the general consensus. Rather, he was like a second round maybe kind of draft pick. They took him at 28.
It's a big word for you.
They
consensus.
I was like, hey, that's pretty simple.
Wow!
All right.
I think Kyle can handle that.
That's fair.
It was just the crazy slam.
Fucking murdered me on camera.
Like that. Immediately. Wow, that was so fast.
Fuck. No.
Yeah, Golden State's unstoppable.
It's 100%.
I'm just terrified for when Klay does come back, which is within like a week or so.
It's over.
And once again,
it's over.
James Wiseman is. We don't know what he is.
No,
we don't know what he is.
They don't even need him to be.
He could be a menace.
He could be an average role player. It doesn't fucking matter. Like,
dude, if he could fill up the Gatorades, he's like, got you guys.
He's gonna. You guys want rebounds? That's it.
Are you hydrated? Everybody okay? Okay. Steph, you need a back? No, your back's good. You don't need a shot. Okay.
Right now.
You know anything? No. Klay, how's that ankle, Klay? Good.
I'll wrap it.
You short? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all we have today for Sports on Tap. Thanks for joining us. If you like what we're doing, we do have a merch store down in the link below. Down in the description, there's a link. If you also like what we're doing, you could help by commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Spread the word.
Your uncle.
Not your uncle. Uncle John.
You got a little too drunk at the Christmas party, Uncle John.
You guys want to hear a joke?
You started saying racism.
You guys want to hear a joke?
Uncle John's got to go to bed now.
2 black guys walking to a bar.
John,
no, not this one.
No,
John.
I'll tell you, this COVID shit is out of hand. I'm never wearing a mask.
Uncle John.
John, I don't.
John. Christmas time.
Yeah, COVID's a Chinese bioweapon. Did you know that?
Everybody's got one. Everybody's got one.
Good night, everybody.